Hi, this is Zach at Reform. I want to go over this latest case study with you on a patient that is unfortunately missing both of his legs due to a train accident some 26 years ago. The last prosthetic legs that were made were over 3 years ago, and he had some trouble with them moving around, pistoning, uncomfortable, and unfortunately he gained quite a bit of weight. So he was looking for an option where he could feel better connected to his socket, better connected to his prosthesis, increase the way he walks, the velocity in which he walks, and hopefully get off some of that weight. And I did appreciate that as a part of the weight regimen because he was up over 300 pounds. So missing both your legs and being up around 300 pounds, there's a couple things that are really important as a bilateral. You don't have, or you lose that twist motion that you have in your ankles being below the knee. There's roughly 4 to 5 degrees of twist or torsional movement that can occur, so restoring that's really important. The other thing is you need your prosthetic to feel connected to you. They can't feel like they're moving around, or when you step down, they're kind of stepping in a different direction. So that really required us to get a much better liner and a much better suspension mechanism than what he had before. This patient was pretty set on having a pin lock suspension, so we had to optimize a pin lock suspension, which is doable, believe it or not. First thing we did was we applied a 6mm Relax Oster liner. You can see the darkness of the liner at the bottom has a matrix to it. There's very little stretch in this liner. And what that permits is a real nice connectivity to the socket. The socket's not going to twist and turn, and it's not going to elongate on the patient. The other thing that we did is, if you see these little orange tabs inside here, these were built in, these were not added later. These are unidirectional tabs that are actually going to grip the fabric of this liner. And the reason that's important, if he loses a little bit of volume and he turns or twists, or the weight of the prosthetics feels a little heavy at the end of the day, that grip will actually grab onto the liner, securing the suspension that much better. Although these are a little bit heavier, it's a little bit heavier than a just sort of a traditional foot there. We utilized a foot with a shock. You can see that this pretty popular foot. It's a ProFlex foot, but this is a shock module that also has torsion to it. And what that does is it gives him some vertical shock when he steps down, which is important for a bilateral patient, so the proximal joints don't absorb both the impact and torsional forces that would normally occur for patients. The last thing we did for him being bilateral, we added this little wedge in the heel. So by adding this wedge, I effectively stiffen the heel by a whole nother category. And the reason that's so important for bilateral patients is because they never want to feel like they're tipping backwards. If anything, they want to feel very secure and quiet standing. They don't want to feel like they're fighting their prosthetics. And when they walk, they don't want any hyperextension either. So they want to walk in a forward progression. All in all, I think the patient will be very happy. The other thing I like about this foot particularly, it's a pretty wide foot profile. And although it's split toe, the width of that foot permits some better stability in mid-stance for patients who have a lack of stability or bilateral condition. Thank you.